In today's video, I'm going to show you how to deal with a button that is popped loose. And I'm also going to show you how to fix one when it's come off on a tight back or where you can't get to the back of it. I'll show you how to deal with that too. Stay tuned. On a loose cushion like this, you'd have a button on both sides. So there'll be two buttons involved. I'll show you what you need equipment-wise, and I'll show you the process at which you go back to put these back together. Now this is a 14-inch upholstery needle, and you can see it's got, let's see, you're over here, right there, you see that? It's just a typical needle, but it's bigger, and it's designed for what's called button twine. And we're not talking, you know, just little hand stitching threads and stuff like that. This is a button twine. There's different companies that make this twine. I buy this from my local upholstery supply business, but it's tufting twine.
Find where you want to run the needle for your button. Insert one side of the button twine into the button. Insert both sides of the button twine into the needle. Insert one of the ends into the other button. Tie a simple slip knot. Tighten it until it is even with the other buttons. Then lock it with 2 knots.
Okay, now we have this cushion repaired, and that's the process you'll use for a loose cushion that you can get to the back that has a button on back and front. Now I'm going to go show you how to deal with a tight back button when it pops out. All right, now this wing chair doesn't get a button in it, but just for purposes so you can see what's going on from behind, because this chair is already stripped on the back, I'm going to show you how I would repair a button on a fixed back. You know, in a lot of cases it may just be a buttoned in back, it may be a tufted back, but usually, you know, you'll know the spot where it came out, and if you're able to find the button, then I'll show you how to put it in there without being able to do anything from behind. But at least you'll get to see what it looks like from behind. Okay, I've shown you on the table over there this, and some call this a tufting needle. We've even as much as called them hypodermic needles, even though they're not a hypodermic needle. But it's basically just a needle that has that hook on it, and it's made for these little clasp, what they call clasps. I don't know if you can see that little thing. The process here is we need to get this in the chair. So what we're going to do is we're going to take and run our button twine right through that hole in the center of it, just like it were the button, you know, needle of a button, or the needle eye of a button. You know, get it evened out here. And then we're gonna hold that clip part of it up here. And we're gonna hook it in there like that. And what that makes is a fairly streamlined needle to poke in this back. Let's go do that. Now while you're doing this, you don't want to just shove this thing hard all the way through. There's a lot of cases when you've still got your out back on there, and you don't want this needle clasp to go through into your out back and end up showing from the, you know, it'll tear up your fabric, and also it's not the place where you're going to have hold for this clasp in the first place. Let me show where that's going to get held at. Okay, you can see here, this is kind of the back cavity, and there's a fabric here, kind of a spring cover, and this is what we want our clasp to come and hold into. Now keep in mind that you don't have to have the exact button that you lost. It's always best if you can. If you happen to have some leftover fabric from the job, like was in this case, but you could tell that the fabric was a little, the original, you know, the fabric on the rest of the cushion was a little faded compared to the new one, but at least it's better than having an empty buttonhole. So, but even past that, you can just get any kind of close fabric, you know, have a button made, or find an old button of any kind that kind of goes with the fabric and just put that in. Anything looks better than no button at all.